Everybody, it was kind of a short week this week, guys. I'll run over the numbers, but it was kind of short, of course, because of the weather. There was some good turnouts, and I guess I could say proud of the guys that went out there and got it done. Those of you that didn't, you're fine. I understand. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, we had planned on going to PTs, and yeah, I know. I heard it, Kevin. Dustin said the word, too, the P word. And I was like, oh, yes, I almost text you. But that's how it is, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I didn't say it. Dustin did. That don't count. Snowmobile's headed to the bar. And you'll probably hear a baby crying and beating on the door to get in here, but she ain't. So, I don't know if you guys can hear her or not, but she's screaming out the door right now. So, but that's what's up. Let's see. We have this week. It was a little short. Let me get to the numbers real quick here. Numbers are here. Let's get this started. PTs kicking it again. 61 and a 114. They were a little short, and there was a lot of guys. We were down there. Jeremy Morris went down for the first time ever at PTs, and he's been racing for a long time, so that was cool. We got him down there to watch or to race. That was pretty cool. Brickhouse was a little short this week. 11 and 17. Dirt Devil, 23 and a 51. Lower level, 20 and a 30. 608 was a 20 and a 44. And we started tracking 5-stars since they got theirs back opened up and running. Indoor, Shane and those guys have been busting their ass. They got theirs open, 45 and a 67. So we were at 108 and 301 this week, which is kind of short. We're usually around 500 to 550. But, hey, there's plenty out there. On a week like this, I don't know what else you can expect. It's not going to be a great week. So that's how that worked out. Not a horrible turnout, in my opinion, for what it was. PTs ran one seating, one heat, one main. That worked out really well for them as usual. Nobody really had, we weren't there till 2 or 3 in the morning. We got out of there about 10, got home about 11 or so. So that worked out really well for us too. That's where it was, guys. Not a whole lot going on. Like I said, this weather killed everybody. I think the turnouts everywhere would have been a lot better if it wasn't for the scare. Slideways, they canceled their race because of it. I don't blame them. There's a lot of places. Limestone didn't race either, all because of the weather. So that's very understandable. All right. Let's do that while we're here. Let's get into races real quick. There it is. Go Fast. Go Fast will be up and running with a club race this week. So if you guys are over there in the Indiana area and you would like to get that on, make sure you guys get over to Go Fast, support those guys, and get that in. Next up, click off. There we go. Thunderdome. Thunderdome be club racing this week. I think they're doing club race on Friday, practice on Saturday for the oval. So if you guys are in the carpet oval, you want to get that done, make sure you get up there and get them taken care of. Limestone, they're in point series mode. They're running theirs this week. I don't believe there's a Friday race, but there is a Saturday. So, Slideways, they got their, I believe it's their 5th race for the Crown Jewel. So the Crown Jewel series, they're running their point series. Slideways will get that in. So, make sure you guys get down there if that's what you need to do. I just caught this one here. I didn't even know they were doing it until I just happened to slide through Facebook and see it. Dirt Devil. Dirt Devil's running Sprint Saturday. 3 classes of sprint cars in action. They're doing 13.5 wing sprint, 13.5 wingless sprint, stock Losi, plus a wild 100 lap enduro. So, $20 to get in, unlimited classes. $5 entry. $5 entry. Winner takes all for the 100 lap enduro race. So that's something different if you guys would like to get that done, and all the normal racing classes are in action, it says down there on the bottom. So if you guys want to get in down there or up there at in Battle Creek, Michigan, get over to Dirt Devil RC and see what they got going on. Okay. Brickhouse. Brickhouse is running their big race this weekend too, or another big race for them. January the 31st, they are running the Icebreaker. So, Outlaw Sprint, 13.5 Sprint, 13.5 late, Midwest Mod, Street Stocks, Short Course Mod, slash Superstock Novice, and they're doing a team race. So that'll be interesting to see. So the guys up at Brickhouse are getting that done. All right. So if you guys are up that way, that's where you want to be. Get in there and check that out. And we'll see, just see how it works. Other than that, that's where we're at. Let's see here. Really hard to race when you go out to leave and for a race you got 2 flats. Yeah, I seen that post earlier, Rick. That is no bueno. Hey, the P word. What? I don't know nothing about the P words. Kevin Smith says, I thought the icebreaker was at Limestone. Well, it is at Limestone. Limestone's had an icebreaker for many, many moons. There's a lot of places that have that. I've seen some discussion online about it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think, guys, and we talked about it a little bit last week, guys, we got to get creative with stuff. And if you guys haven't seen the short video I put out today, I'm going to try to be creative this year. We're going to do some different stuff. We're going to make it a little bit different. We are going to have different trophies this year. As always, we do something different. But we are trying to do some different things to make it unique. Last week we talked about it, guys. We don't need to have the same race everywhere. We don't need the same, I don't know. Everybody has a 100 race. Everybody has a nationals. Everybody has a... Guys, I understand it. We're copying the big cars, so that's what we want to do. But, man, get creative. Find some other way of doing it. Make it unique. I like the burn down. Burn down they did down in Slideways. That's creative. And they did their whatever one was last week. That they I don't remember the name of it. Freeze Fest from Slideways. It's just unique, guys. It's not the same name as a big car race. It's not the same name as 2 guys or 2 other tracks within hours of you or hundreds of hours of you. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Try to do it unique so you don't have to worry about being, follow the leader. Jump out of the pack. Do something different. So, just like 5-star opening up, guys. I've seen some beef about that. Indiana guys, get ready because you're going to be fighting the exact same fight as the Illinois guys have had for years. You guys are either going to have to get together and figure out how to work somewhat together on scheduling. Not schedule every weekend. Not schedule big races, quote unquote, as Dustin said earlier, big races. You know what I mean? You've got to do something. What's up, Jeff Johnson, in here in the comments? Too cold for you? So you jump on tonight? Well, welcome back. Chili Willy 99 would be original. Yeah, see, there you go. And then you could give out Woody Woodpecker and Chili Willy trophies. That'd be cool. Or a Chili Willy, which, never mind. We had a King of Iowa series, 3 different tracks. Yeah. Indiana, you're getting more tracks. It's coming. You guys are going to get more tracks. You're going to have to work together or not. But if you schedule on top of each other, people are going to get pissed. It's going to happen. So it happens in Illinois every year. So we understand that. Beef, I think Shane Sanders stepped up and is putting in the work. We need more track. Kevin Smith is correct. You do. Thanks for the warm welcome on cold night. No problem, Jeff. Yes, you guys do need tracks, Kevin. You really do. What do you have? You have Go Fast, you have Brick House, and now you have 5-star indoor, right? And then carpet. You need a fireplace for the RC. Yeah, no kidding. My Trace came in here earlier. I was working on some stuff, and he goes, "You need a cardigan on now, Dad," just like the man himself. But if you have to raw outdoors, right? Outdoors. I'm talking indoors now, but outdoors, you're going to have the same thing. You're going to run into that same problem of having multiple tracks, and you guys are going to have to work together as much as you can. What's up, Moisture Nuts? we are going to have to figure that out because there's going to be, you're going to have, now you got, so if you have Raw come in, you have Sam's new track come in, you have 5-star that's probably going to run year round, even indoor, outdoor, or indoor, but open up for, year round. You're there. I mean, it's going to be tough, guys. You just have to work as well as you can together. So scheduling is okay. What up, Van Ice? It's not a problem if egos are put aside and work together. 100%, Kevin. And I'll attest to that, guys. As I've said before, there's 5 tracks that have worked together this year in Illinois to help make this better. When we did that, we've talked about a lot. What's up, Mama? We've talked about that a lot. When we have so many guys together and we're talking about what we want to do as tracks and get the rules close, you're not going to get them perfect. Get them close. And you play well with each other, shit just works better. Do you have to schedule on top of somebody? Yes. I scheduled on top of Cedar twice. And here's why I had to. One, they moved one. We all know that story. The other one is there's nowhere else to go. There's only 4 weekends in a month. We have five tracks that are working together. That means we're going to have to schedule on top. Cedar is the farthest track from me. That's willing to work. That's why we did it. Do I think it's going to hurt either one of us? Probably not a lot. Okay? Probably not a lot. If it was Brad's, which is literally 30 minutes from my track, to Brad's track's 30 minutes. If I scheduled a big race on top of Brad's big race, guess what? One of us is going to lose, or both of us. It's just not worth it. So you do have to put egos aside, but I'm telling you guys, I've been doing this for only 4 years. I am the lowest man on the totem pole. But you still have to work together as a group. I know Dustin said he didn't really care if they really worked together with that or this or that. I think, his point to it was we've got to watch how many big races. If you schedule 2 or 3 big races in a month, you're screwing everybody. And I'm telling you, people won't go. At some point, people are going to get tired of racing your track. You're going to have your diehards, but they're going to keep moving. It happens. When I got back into Oval, Indiana had 5 or 6 outdoor tracks. I never heard any of them bitching about each other's schedule. Yeah. I mean, if you spread them enough, I don't think it's a problem. You know what I mean? As big as Oval's getting, guys, we have enough to go around. We really do. An outdoor race that's 150 cars is fun, but man, it takes a long time. And it's a lot of stress on the people. It's a lot of stress on the track. It's a lot of everything. So you can't start until late. So then you're 2 or 3, 4, 5 in the morning before you get done. Well, give up 1 or 2 of those. You know what I mean? Give up a guy or 2 or 4 or 10 and let them go somewhere else. And then your number goes down a little bit. Big deal. You still have a great turnout and you can still enjoy racing until not 3 in the morning. 100 is a good number. Damn good number. If you get 150, it's a lot. If you get 80, that's a good number. You know what I mean? Like, triple digits is cool to hit. But once you hit it, you hit it. You can say you did it. But the reality of it is, a lot of times, the show just is so long. I'm not going to turn anybody away. But I think if there's plenty to go around, if somebody wants to go. If Indiana, somebody say Raw schedules on top of me one weekend, I'm not going to worry about Raw scheduling on top of me. Right? I don't want it to happen, but it's going to because there's only 4 weekends. Kevin says, yeah, I think every track needs to schedule a trophy weeks 3 weeks of the month. It makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Guys, we're running 5 races. 5 races this year. That's it. We're running 5 Friday nights. We might do some practicing on Friday nights too, but we're running 5 races. That's all. I think if you run every week, you burn yourself out. You burn your normal everyday guys that want to travel out. and you don't get that traveling people, because I call it Warner Woods syndrome, guys. If I can race somewhere every week, what's the nostalgia of going? 70 pro mods at the Winter Series this year, because it's 3 races in the whole year. That's the only time they run it. That is where that comes in. You know what I mean? But yeah, you have to watch what you schedule. You know what I mean? I've seen guys run, Limestone does it. They run or they did. I don't know if they still do or not. Wednesday they had practice. Friday, Saturday, one of them or both of them they raced. Now they're doing Friday and Saturday, but Friday is RTR stuff and Saturday is the faster or the more normal class stuff. That is a lot. But I understand why he split them up. He didn't have time on a Saturday show to put the RTRs in, but he still wants the RTR guys somewhere to run. Whether you think the RTR stuff is worth a shit or not, it gets somebody looking at our hobby, no matter what you say about it. Somebody is putting a car on a track, and they're racing. Everybody at this track started out in slash street. Well, not everybody. Everybody in this area started out in slash street stock when we started our track. That's all we had. And then mini mods came in. 2 classes that nobody even thinks about. That's fine. We still have 30 slash street stocks racing on a big race weekend. We still have 12 mini mods, and there's going to be a ton more this year, guys. I've sold a bunch. And I know Chad and Angel, they've sold a bunch. I know Butch and Anthony are pushing it up at Limestone. If those guys come out or not, I don't know. Any of the Limestone guys, you're all welcome, but you know, we're running mini mods all summer. We're not running late models. We're not running any of that stuff. We run mini mods. So, Kevin says, I love it. The PTs doesn't race every weekend. I agree. I think that's why they get the 100 plus every week. Guys, they run 3 classes and get 90. There's tracks that can run 10 classes and not get 90. Okay? They don't. It is a world-class facility. Paul and Tom, I talked to them last night. I was talking to Paul actually a little bit about the slash street stock. We had 2 down there. They ran them. 2 young kids. They end up bringing some kids up from novice or guys and a guy and a young lady from novice to make 4. But we need a group of slash street stocks to go to PTs. So hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Facebook. We need to figure out a club date. We can go to PTs, run slash street stocks again. Let's get it. All right. I don't know what the rule is. I'll have to look them up. I'll post them. We'll talk about it. But even if it's 12 turns, guys, I know, guys, Moisture Nuts, I know you got a bunch of 12 turns too. Let's get some 12 turns if that's what we got to run. I'd love to have BL2s down there, but if they run 12 turns, let's go. You know what I mean? That class cannot die. I think that class started a ton of people racing, and it needs to happen. Anzo says, slash street stocks are elite. Yes, I think slash street stocks are a fun class. We'll talk more about being fun and being competitive and being so serious here later, probably. Slash street stock is a positive class. Yes, Munsterman, you're right. Thinking on building another street stock from Rick Taylor. Yes. I didn't say it. There's 2 times that, or there's 2 races this year that the slashes are going to be big. So the slashes are going to be big at the Fall Brawl. We're going to pay out again there. And the Full Fender 55. There's going to be more options. So that's the way that works. Okay? We need them down there. Yeah, Decker was down there this weekend. Zach was down there, so he ran. Got second. Brian says, I think I got 4 left. Have been ran through the dyno. So yeah. You know what I mean? If I don't want to do it, I hate 12 turns. Honestly, I think it needs to be BL2s, but and maybe we can talk to them about it. I'm doing a slash street stock fun class. I know another guy that races higher end stuff, Mark, that just bought one. So slash street stock's gonna rip. So those, I don't know where we got off on this deal, but guys, that's where there has to be a way everybody gets in. I asked Paul, I said, is it because it's so competitive here and because it honestly is a little bit intimidating for most people? When they hear PTs and hear 100 cars, a lot of people are intimidated to go down there with your 12 turn. It's just a 12 turn. I'll not be like them guys. You're still racing, guys. You start somewhere. We started with them, and now everybody that still races here, that started in a slash street stock, that's still racing, has bumped up to a buggy. But they still have that slash street stock. Now, don't get me wrong. By the time you put an LCG on a slash street stock, you mount the body and paint the body on a slash street stock, you buy a set of wheels and tires, that's the way it is. You have to build that car. It's not just putting a truck on the track. So that's how that is. Jeff Johnson says, I strongly dislike the 12 turns, and I won't go somewhere that I'd have to put one in, just my opinion. I agree 100%, Jeff. The only problem I have is I want that class. Maybe if we can get a bunch out there with, or we'll talk to them. You know what I mean? But the BL2 or the 13.5, we're running all three this year. Yeah, well, you tune the car right and win down there with the 12 turn. Hell yeah, yeah. That's that. I don't know. Just go race. I don't give a shit what you're racing. I'm not bagging on anybody, but you guys know me well enough, the 25 or 30 of us that are on here, that have been with me a long time. You know I'm going to say what I think, and here's what I think about it. Sometimes guys go through the ranks. Maybe they didn't have a slash street stock when you started racing. And you've been racing for 10 years in the mod class. And some guys forget that they started in a slash street stock. They started in a buggy street stock. They started in whatever they had back in 1992, right? You forgot that's what happened. It happens all the time. So we have to have an entry class. Slash street stock is not a bad one. It'll cost you $500 to build one now, but that's the way it is. Nothing's cheap anymore. You can buy I think you can buy them with an LCG chassis now. I'm not sure. I haven't bought one in a while. I buy used because it doesn't matter to me. So that's, you know what I mean? That's how you have to build it some. Therefore, you're learning how to do it. We built kits with the kids. You can't even get a kit, I don't think. I looked the other day. I didn't see any. Jeff said, I'll start going to Brad's more often since he finally changed his rule for slashes. Agreed. You're probably going to want to put a late model body on it, Jeff, if you go. You can run, at Brad's now, you can run BL2 and you can run 12 turn and any chassis, high center gravity, low center gravity. I think there is a tire rule, but other than that, that's what you get. So if I were going to Brad's to race slashes now, I'd have a BL2 in it and I'd put a late model body on it. That's where I would be. I think you're going to find late model slashes at Brad's are going to be big. We will not let you run a late model body. You're going to run street stocks. Here's the reason why. If we run late model slashes here, we have a four-wheel drive late model class already with the slash four-wheel drive. If you guys look at that rule, it has changed this year. Now that rule for the slash street stock that we've had forever, that was actually four-wheel drive late model, four-wheel drive late model slash, that rules have changed. I just put them out the other day when I was sitting in the dentist office with my wife. It is an open chassis. It is an open, it has to be a factory chassis, but it's open four-wheel drive manufacturer, open motor, open ESC, and I'll have a tire rule. So you guys have bitched forever about, I got to put a slash motor in my Losi because we let chassis go for a while. Well, you don't have to do that anymore. You run it's open motor, open ESC, four-wheel drive, short course trucks. Okay? Bring them out here and break them. That's what you're going to do. But that's what's available now. So look at the rules package, but that has changed. I don't want another late model out there. A guy walking up Main Street in Kempton from the bar, want to watch some racing. He sees a group go around in a late model. We stop. We put another group out there. There's another late model. Oh, another half the night's late models. Guys, we want them to be able to see the difference. So that's the difference. You know what I mean? Shark Slingshot is more aero and usually faster than the late model. Proven at the Dixie Nationals this year. I'll stick to the Slingshot. Yeah. I mean, that's whatever. Whatever you want to run. The Slingshot, in my opinion, is a late model anyway. So, but yeah, so there's that. Okay. So there's been some rule changes here, but guys, I don't want all late models out there, then all sprint cars out there, and then we're done. I want guys to see the different cars, and maybe they grew up or they had a street stock when they were younger, and they raced it. And you know what? They really like street stocks. So guess what? I want them to be able to run a street stock. Maybe their brother or their uncle runs a late model. Let them run a late model in the class that they can, so they can run what their families ran forever. You know what I mean? The only modifieds really out there anymore are 13.5 B mod, which is dying fast, but hopefully it stays around, and the mini mod, if you're running a modified body for now. Midwest mod is coming, but that's, you know what I mean, the Midwest mod. I think that's a good car. Justin talked about it a little bit, saying, you know, it's nothing more than a late model with a different body. I agree, but I think it's because guys like a different, you know, that's their body style of choice. Kevin says I got back into a non-wing sprint and a Mud Boss car. Yep. So that's, you know what I mean? Everybody gets back in it. Just remember that at some point before you were, you know, been in it for 20 years, know what's going on. There's guys doing it now that you were doing it 10 or 15 years ago. So, don't bag on them when they're out there wrecking the shit out of it, because at some point you did too. Maybe you were 14 or 12 or 2, but you did it. Don't bag on them. Help them if they'll let you, and just enjoy the racing with them. Jeremy says, Jeff Johnson, I thought you were done slash racing. Change of heart or what? Jeff had about 17 slashes at one time, so I think the Slingshot has been banned at some places. As Rick Taylor says, we didn't, and then whatever. You know what I mean? I think loose dirt, I don't think it's as prominent in loose dirt, but we'll find out if you're going to run it this year, Jeff. I didn't ban it from here. Yeah, got to follow my heart, and I love slashes. There it is. I said it. Hey, Jeff, there ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You know, that guy that's asking that question, he's running his slash too. And he's running he might be running a mod car, or he might be running a 13.5 car. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter, all right? Just enjoy the racing. All right, we're off of that deal. Let me get one more up here. Let me get up here on the top screen. Let's talk about the question of the week real quick, guys. This one's something that, where's it at? There it is. Sorry, I'm all screwed up here, guys. All right, there it is. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the Traxxas slash. No, it's a good car. Weasel says 3 guys show up with a class of cars not listed as a class. Should the track owner let them race as a new class? What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? What do you think about? Jeremy says them slashes are a blast, and he's right, man. We have a lot of fun with them. Whether they're 2-seaters or 1, they're a good time. I don't know, guys, if 3's the number anymore. Now, here's why I say that. Thank you, Bo. You coming in? IT department's coming in. That's fine. Hang on, guys. We got to make some adjustments. Come on, Bubba. So, what's up, Jimmy? I just seen your comment about you buying used stuff and fixing it from Dave, RC Underground Dave. So, that's pretty cool. I'm glad you're doing that. It would help. We would not let them race. We don't need or want more classes. Okay. Why turn people away? Decker says. Jeremy says, if it's a big race, no, but if it's a Freedom Friday, I say let them run. Rick Taylor says yes. It could possibly lead to bigger and better things. Joe Payne says, depends on car count. If you have a low turnout that night, sure. If there's 150 cars, sorry, can't do it. And that's right. Let them run depending on the club or a big show. Jimmy says, yes, sir, all the time. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I like that business plan. That's cool. Tommy says, yeah, 3 mega class used as an exhibition. All right. So we got some comments in here. I agree with a lot of you guys. If it's a big race, we're probably not going to let you in. Because of it being a big race. You can probably get in somewhere anyway, right? But if it's a Friday night or a club race, let's go, right? But you need more than 3 here. Excuse me, we are not going to let it ride on 3 anymore. It's going to be ride on 6 or 7. And here's why. I'm not giving out participation trophies. Not happening. Just don't expect a sticker or a trophy or a sticker. Yeah. I'm not giving out participation trophies. Okay? It ain't happening. That's not my deal. We're here to race and have a good time. But it's not about participation trophies. Okay? I've got guys asking me about a master's class here at our track. Here's what I'm going to do, guys. We are going to probably, it's kind of in the talks, but I mean, I make the decision, so I think we're going to let a master's class go this year. We will have a master class. It's going to be 50 and up. But you got to have 12. And here's why. I don't want to give a trophy away to 2. But what we'll do is we'll put Mod Sprint and Mod Masters next to each other on the sign-up sheet. You're going to sign up and where you want. If you're in Masters and we only have 12, if we don't have 12, if you don't have 12 guys, you're running Mod. Same way we're going to do a late model the same way. Okay? You're going to have a Masters and you're going to have a regular. If we don't have 12, you're going into Mod. If Mod only has 8, we're going all Mod. You can't kick a kid to Masters because they're not over 50. If we don't have 12 per class, we're staying with Mod. Okay? That's how it's going to work. Let me get some comments. Jeff Johnson says, I don't foresee 3 guys showing up at a big race to try that. They probably have plenty of other cars to race that night. Yeah, I think so too, Jeff. I think anybody that's trying to get in on a deal like that is probably going to do it on a club night. PTs and BB Mods did that with us for the mini mods. Yes, they did, Brian, on club nights. And I think it's good, but we brought a bunch, right? There wasn't normally 3. So I think you got to have more than 3, that's for sure. So 50 and up, yes. 50 and up. Kevin Smith. Van Ice says, to add to the question, if 2 guys sign up for a regular Traxxas classes, say B-Mod, show up, should they still get to run that night since it's a regular class, or say, sorry, we need at least 3 to 5 to run a regular class? I don't know, Jason. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. I don't know how to handle that. Honestly, I think B-Mods are out. I don't know what else to do. You know what I mean? I really think, and I'm not saying just B-Mods. I'm saying any class that only has 2 on a big race night. My opinion, guys, if you love that class you race, and I want to say, yeah, Brian, we'll get to that in just a second. I do say if you really enjoy, we're going to say B-Mod because it's slowing down. If you really enjoy your B-Mod, get your buddies to buy one and let's go race. You as a racer take part of the ownership of increasing these classes, getting more guys here. Talk to your buddy at work, get him a deal on a B mod that somebody's got rid of, or help him build a slash into a B mod to start with. And let's go racing. And you guys as racers help track owners and the hobby itself, instead of just coming out, driving the distance. Guys, we love you for it. Drive the distance and pay your payment to race. Grab a dude and say, let's go racing. I've got an extra one. Try this shit out. It's fun. You've got to do something like that, okay, to help the hobby. Weasel says, so if only 3 show up for a listed class, are they left out of that date? See, I don't know. I don't know, Weasel. I can't figure it out. I don't know how to tell you that yes or no. But I think as racers, we have to help ourselves, right? We have to help ourselves get more people in. Guys, I talk about this shit all day. All day. I talk about this shit to people. And with what's come out this summer for our race series that's coming up, the video dropped today, just a teaser. Guys, it's going to be fun. And guys are going to enjoy it. So, Munchman says, Brad put us in the 4-county shootout? Yes. But, and he says it here, but he also knew we were bringing a bunch of them. He did that for us on the Hell Tour 2 one year. We ran the mini mods in it because we were there every Friday night. We were racing every weekend, and there was 6 or 8 of us. Every week we were down there. I was taking 5 with me. Every weekend we went to Brad's on Friday night for Friday Night Lights and race mini mods. Butch was there every weekend. I don't think Anthony was there once. I think he did 4-county shootout maybe. Jesse was there. I mean, we always had, Brian was racing more than, and the boys. So there's a bunch of us racing them. So yeah, he knew he was going to have a turnout, and he was okay with that if he had a turnout, right? And I don't blame him. Kevin responded, Jason, that's a tough one because you never want to turn someone away, but say 3 classes show up with 2 cars each. Do you run those 4 classes? I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you run them. It says 2 guys or 3 for a class is boring to run. Yeah, that's what I don't like about it. Chris says turn your B mods into slash street stocks. Most guys that run B mods have a slash street stock, but or they're running them into something else. But you guys run different short course stuff down there. I wish I could have made some Friday Night Lights. Adulting got in the way for that though. Yeah, that happens, man. We dropping frames. Had a buddy get a B mod and raced it like 3 times and decided it was too slow. He got out of it. Yeah, guys, we might drop a few frames. I'm not hardwired yet, so I'm on Wi-Fi. So hang with me. If I show up and there's only 2 to 3 cars in my class, I'll not run. I want to earn a podium, not by default. Yep. Yeah, I'm not too much on winning by process of elimination. You know what I mean? Now, if you're the only one to make it through, like in an SC mod race, and you're the only one to make it through to the end, that's one thing. But you started with 10 or 12 of them. You just outlast them because you didn't break the transmission or an axle or something like that. Yeah, same guy loves this Slash car. Yeah, Slash Street Stock's a good car, man. So I don't know. It's hard to say if you're running for points, if you have a points deal and say one of those classes, you have to run it. But that's the way it is. You know what I mean? Like you have to because you got points on the line. But if you're not a points deal, I don't know if you do or not. I think it would be a hard conversation the day of, honestly. Again, all I can say, guys, please tell your buddies, please tell them that you are racing RC cars. It's badass. It doesn't take a lot to do it. You know what I mean? You can get in it pretty reasonable. And I've got one you can try out for a couple weeks and see how it works. Go from there. Get them out here. Kevin Smith says, responding to the 2 or 3 cars in the class. He won't, Jeff's comment. He says, some people love the 3-car races for their podium race report. Yeah. Yeah, that's not it. Yes, points is a different story, but 3 is still boring. Brian says agreed. Jason says, I love the 5 classes and podiums. Iron Man said, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's our point series this year, guys, is going to be 4 classes, just so you know. 4 classes this year for points. So, okay? We're going to have, everybody's going to run, but we're only going to run 4 points. And you guys will see why when it gets closer, you guys will see. That's what we're going to do. So I don't know, guys. I can't tell you if, I think, honestly, the number needs to be higher than 3 to run a class. 2 cars circling the track, a half a lap apart of each other sucks. I don't know that they will or not, Jason. I've tried to get some of the old big car guys into RC racing, yet they say no because they are toy cars. It's really misleading because these toy cars are a blast. There's a ton of guys that are, if they would just do it a few times and enjoy it, then that would help. But it is hard to get a guy that says it's a toy car to not understand it's just a toy car. And it is, but also have to say I respect the guys keeping a class live. B-mods are all but dead, but Tommy and Tom are doing everything to keep them going. Much respect. Agreed, Jeff. Honestly, here's what I can say about B-mod. Guys, I wouldn't even offer B-mod if it wasn't for those guys. Would not even offer it. There's guys, Tommy, Scuba ran one. I don't know if he's running it this year. Jeremy's ran a B-mod a lot. He kind of stopped running at the end of the year. He just said, I've got 3 B-mods sitting. So, guys, there's available B-mods if a guy wants to get out and race them. I'm sure Jeremy will sell one or rent one or something to somebody. The guys like Tom and Tommy, dude, they're diehard, they're great people, and they love that class. I wouldn't run it otherwise because there ain't enough. Jeremy says for sure on that deal. I said, well, and Jeremy and Scuba ran them, but they're really getting into the buggy stuff and trying to figure it out more because they had a really good run on B-mod. So with the guys that really enjoy B-mod still, that's why I keep it alive. For the guys that bust their ass, just like Jeff said, 100%. Good call, Jeff. Chris says it should be the number you run in your heat race. Yeah, that's kind of how I am. We usually run 6. I want you to fight for an A main. You know what I mean? But at least 6, I think, is going to be the number. Munchman, who all is still running B-mod at Limestone? It's pretty short there, too. I don't know, Brian, honestly. Kevin said, backyard last year, some were mad. I didn't include slash street stock, so I laid down the gauntlet and said, full field or no field. So you didn't get any either, did you? What'd you get? I don't remember. Rick said, I'm trying here in Iowa, yet it's hard to compete against the buggy-based cars. It is. 100%. Jason said, Van Nuys said he'll sell his B-mod, and I have another. So you got 3? Yeah. Guys, and we talked about that. They were talking about classes on Dustin's post today. And, guys, I listen to everybody's stuff as much as I can if it's dirt oval. I don't like listen too much to the off-road stuff or the on-road, but I really listen to anything that's dirt oval. I haven't listened to the podcast with Tom yet. That'll be tomorrow at work. But I really think, guys, we have to have another one. We have to have that entry class. And like Kevin said, he got 3 for slash street stock. Well, that's fine. But I think we had damn near 30 for the fall brawl. So, you know what I mean? That's the difference. I could look back. I don't remember exactly the number, but it was close. There's a ton of them. And it was good racing. And we paid out $1,000 or something like $1,100, I think. Let me look here real quick, guys. Last race we did. Entry list. Slash street stock. 29. 29 slash street stocks. So, there it is. You know what I mean? Slash street stocks, 29 of them. One of the biggest classes we had. So, they're there. And there's Indiana guys come over, raced them. Every big race we had Indiana guys here. But for a guy to say that, for guys to say that he, that class is dead, we should never run that class, I think you're wrong. I think you need to be open. Because if you have the right atmosphere and the right people, that class will go. Weasel said we had 8 last week. I was broke and didn't race. So relatively 9 then, right? You're the other one. That's not every week, I'm sure, but that's not a bad number. Kevin says, so you have a podcast going 24/7? Pretty much. I don't know. It ain't as much as, there's a lot of guys doing lives now, which is good, but man, there's a lot of guys doing lives. Holy smokes. Brian's telling Tom, thanks. Kevin said, podcasts are getting to be like Oprah. You get a podcast, everybody gets a podcast. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. How many 13.5 and mod sprints were at the Fall Brawl? I got it up here. Let me look. Odd sprint, 16. 13.5 sprints, 18. 13 and 18, Dennis. So, but guys, you got to remember, and this is something else that I think kind of slipped a lot of people today talking on Dustin's side. And I didn't put it in there. I put a few comments in, but I'm not bashing this shit. But you got to remember, we're 4 years into this deal, and we are just now getting mod cars after 4 years. I got a drink. Thank you, Mama. You want me to take that one? Coke. I'll take Mountain Dew. Yeah, I'll take them both. It's going to be a long night. Thanks, Mama. Yeah, Pete. My new IT department. Mama brought me a drink, and my IT department, which is my orange cat, he's in here with me. So. He wants in there. I said, you let that go. Yeah, you don't care. It's all good. Max, come on. All right. Rick says, everyone says B-mods are too big and heavy and slow, yet they get a buggy car. Sure, it's lighter, yet you have to add a bunch of weight to get it to handle. And time's really cool. Yeah, they're two different things. A buggy honestly handles so much better than a B-mod, but it's what you like. There's nothing wrong with it. Jason says, in my opinion, if you had stayed true to 12 turns, the slash class would have fallen down. Thanks for adapting for the times. Only track I know is still pulling huge numbers in 12 turns, Attitude in Wisconsin. Yeah, Attitude's got their own group. You know what I mean? Those guys up there, Aaron and those guys have done a miraculous job of keeping a rule set that they have set because they don't have anybody around them, or very many around them, and they keep the same rule set for a long time. Now, I do believe he went BL2 this year with a gear change. So they're going to keep the speeds relatively good so you don't run into the problem of it not being good racing. And that's what it is, right? And but yes, I'm sure that BL2 is going to run right through Attitude in a hurry. Everybody in Wisconsin, if you don't own a BL2 and you're racing up at Attitude, you better buy one because there's going to be none, on the shelf after the first week at Attitude. Okay? Sold out everywhere. Them things are a ton to drive, but they're a lot more fun. With the BL2, it doesn't die off as fast as a 12-turn. And, yeah. Next year, we're probably going to drop the 13.5 just stock. Okay? Just a heads up. Next year, we probably will not have a 13.5 just stock option in the slash street stock. It will be like Brad. Brad has 12-turn and BL2 only. I'm going to give a year before I do that, I think. Okay. Brian says smaller cars look faster and steering is more reactive. Yeah. And the smaller cars look faster. Yeah. That's exactly right. But I think that's good. I think it's, guys, we have to have all that. We have to have, this question came up. Fuck it. We might as well get in it. I don't even remember what the topic of the week is, but here's what we're going to go with this right now. If a track is super competitive, and we talked about this a little bit at PTs this weekend, Guys, PTs, if you've not been there, even on I'll call it a slower night, last weekend, a lot of the guys that are there a lot of weekends weren't there. BL2 problem's fixed. I don't know that there is any problem anymore, Rick. I don't think that's a problem anymore. I think it is fixed. They had a fan problem, and I think they fixed that. The crash and the pause, don't crash and pause. Drive better. You know it's there, and if you get in a mix, maybe you need to lift a little bit more so you don't make that big crash and cause that pause. I think it's only front end. Honestly, I think the front is the worst part. I wish they would get rid of it completely, but you know it's there. See a lot of cars cutting out. Yeah. Only time I've seen it is under crash. BL2 should be an accepted combo, being that it is a factory system now. And to stay true to the class, it's easy for guys to get into by starting out without having to buy a new motor and ESC combo. Yeah, agreed. So, back to it. PTs is competitive. It's super competitive. I'm not saying any other track is not competitive, but PTs is super competitive. Do guys get tired of racing that super competitive? You've got to be right on the money every week, every time. Do guys get tired of that? Or is that something that, I don't know, like, I'm going to say it here. My track, in my opinion, my track is not super competitive. It is competitive. Guys, we race every weekend, and guys are wanting to win. But I don't think it is balls out like it is the PTs. Granted, I think PTs has calmed down a little bit this year. Thankfully, I think it's a great thing. I think they're having a little bit more fun this year. The last couple of years is bad. What's up, Drake? Yes, tired of it. Building a slash street stock for local carpet racing. Let's go. Let's go slash street stock racing all summer, Drake. Because I think that happens. I think guys don't want that all the time. I don't think guys want every weekend that they have to be dead on point. That's where it is. You know what I mean? I think that's why we got a big turnout for the Fall Brawl, guys. I think it was the last one that everybody could just go out and enjoy and not be like on each other's ass the whole time. Just have more fun. Brian says, Beatman Warrior is in the chat. Who is that? Jason says, honestly, I do. I wanted to test some stuff, but we would have felt in the way. I don't always want to be ultra competitive all the time. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Ryan, I'm surprised you're on here, buddy. Welcome to the chat. Snow Fighter coming in hot as usual, late as usual. Ryan left from PTs yesterday and probably hasn't slept much, so pushing snow. I like the fact that we car test something and see where it is compared against the best. It's a unique track for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. I think really, Ryan, your guys' mentality as far as the older guys in that group, because you're probably going to be able to run Masters next year at 50, we'll be able to, you guys can test stuff, you know what I mean, and do that. And the younger kids, though, are still fighting every weekend down there, right? I mean, just beating it up every week. Jeff, where's Jeff's at? Jeff says, I don't get tired of it because I don't go. I don't have the skill level for super competitive. Yeah, I don't. But see, that's the difference too, Jeff. Honestly, you don't have to have the skill level for super competitive. You just have to go out and have fun. Maybe you won't finish in the top 3, but as long as you go out and have fun and you see where you stack up, in my opinion, on a good night at PTs, you'll find out where you're at in the pecking order of this deal in north central Illinois. PTs has some of the best there. No different than, like, in my opinion, high bite, limestone. They have some of the best there on a big race, right? Loose dirt, PTs is where you're at in this area. You know what I mean? Go Fast has some good guys too. I think it's just a different style of racing because it's so small. But yeah. Brian says, neither do I. Jeff, just want to have fun. Yeah, exactly. That's the same way I am. Rick says, if it's getting you to be on your game, to be competitive, then it's good. Yet it also get you started overthinking about your driving. Yeah. Yeah, that's the difference too. You know what I mean? So, build a snowman. Does that count as what Ryan's doing? What's Brian Munchman yelling at Ryan? That's probably sarcasm. Buggy Street Stock is getting ultra competitive at Limestone, and don't enjoy it like I used to. I'll be attending Go Fast more often as they're a bit more laid back. Yeah, I think it takes different people, right? Kevin Smith says never, as far as that sarcasm goes. Joe Payne, Road Race Concepts. I just sent it, and whatever happens, happens. Well, you sent it in the midget the other night, and Kevin wasn't there to wreck you. No, I'm just kidding, Kevin. And still won that, got that midget done. So good job on that. Joe, I'm just not a high bike guy. I like the loose dirt. Yeah. Munsterman, of course. I'm the same way. Jason says, Buggy Street Stock was fun at Limestone, fast and smooth. Yeah. Yeah, I figured you'd enjoy that down there. Jason, you were my benchmark for the night. I enjoyed that. Yeah. Yeah. Jason's a pretty good benchmark most nights. So Drake says, if I go every week, the competition is awesome. The guys that can only show up once a month, that have the equipment to compete, can't keep up because everyone that runs every week is doing so much sharper. Yeah, and nothing against those guys. I wish I could go every week too. Yeah, I mean that's 100%. You know, those that are somewhat professional, you know what I mean, in that aspect, of course, are going to be better. What's up, Josh? Good to have you on here. Competition is great, but I am in the hobby to have fun and make friends and memories. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think there's a lot of times, those of you that were out here, or been out here any time in the last 4 years, we have a good atmosphere. I'll ride on that deal, right? I'll say that to the end, because when it's not fun, I'm done. I'm tilling this bitch in, and we're gonna have a koi pond out there. If I'm not having fun and a guy's coming or bitching and arguing all the time, one, we put it into it pretty quick. Two, I'm not fucking dealing with that. We're gonna have fun. So that's the difference. Brian says, Brian, I didn't want to miss the podcast. Last time I missed you were on a lot. Yeah, he's been on here running his mouth. Called your ass out last time, Ryan. Baker says, Baker, he's got that custom build-ins and more. He's the new one on the board there, you guys will see. Andrew's helping us out with some stuff, so thank you for that, Andrew. Buggy Street Stock is competitive at just about all the tracks right now. Yeah, Buggy Street Stock, guys, is a class. It is not a mod class style, right? We all understand that, but man, Buggy Street Stock is on point. What I see Buggy Street Stock happening, I see in the next 2 to 3 years, Buggy Street Stock will level or taper down a little bit, and all those people will go to 13.5 late model, or both, and it's just building these guys' ability. Brian said it sucked, Edens. I was out here working my corner by myself. Jason Van Ice says Buggy Street Stock is great right now. Close fender to fender racing, sometimes better than most mod classes of single file racing. Yeah, I agree, Jason. I think the Buggy Street Stock class has turned it up. They were talking on Dustin's deal too. And I keep going back to it because I just listened to the back half of it. I didn't hear the tire part in the front, which is okay. I really think that if you get into buggy street stock as you're learning to figure this deal out, or if you come from Slash or you come from a Losi Sprint or whatever you come from. And I was talking to a guy at the track this week, and I agree with him 100%. I feel like you need a year per car. And I know guys want to jump up quick, but a guy said something about buggy street stock is the hardest car to drive. I don't know why it's entry level. It is hard to drive. I know a guy that races B model all the time, and he hates buggy street stock. He said, man, they are so hard. Everybody says that. Then when you move up, you're going to get better. You're going to be able to drive that car better. And the guy I was talking to this weekend, he said his son, he made him race 1 year per class. And he does a good job now. I mean, so that's how that works. You know what I mean? The comment on Dustin's deal was 2 to 3 months, the guy's moving out of buggy street stock into 13.5 late. I think that's too quick. I think they need to stay in buggy street stock for a year. Then stay in the other for a year. So that's where I'm at with it. I don't know. I might be completely wrong. It doesn't matter. It's hard to hold a guy in a class, but drive one for a year and make sure you're good. Brian Mushman says, I'm trying to figure out what chassis I want to do for a buggy street stock. I'm giving up on the Schumacher. Yeah, them Schumachers are nice, though. Ryan says, less painful if you push the stop button at the intersection. Drake says, in my opinion, I'd rather race side-by-side with a slower car than go fast in a faster car. Slower cars often times look more scale, Munchman says. All right, guys, here's another question. We talked about it at the track this weekend. Is 13.5 too fast for buggy? Is 13.5 too fast for buggy? I've heard a lot of people say it is. I'm asking you guys. I says, I feel like I've seen times where the street stocks were faster than the 35 late models with some of the rules. Yeah, that's the question. Is the buggy street stock too fast to get going in? Should that car be a 17.5? What's everybody think? Do we stay, should it stay 13.5 just stock, or should we run 17.5? I thought you were running 10 turns in a buggy. What are you talking about? Absolutely not, Ryan says. No 17.5? Not even a roar? Or is that the late model? We were running 10.5 just stock in the late model. That will be down to 13.5 this year. Hank says no, 13.5 just stock. I think the 13.5 just stock is a great motor for that. The 13.5 just stock ran the same times as a 17.5 open at KERC. Yeah, the most available motor to buy, and the street stock is perfect where it is. I don't disagree with you, Ryan. And here's the comment that come up, since we got some people talking about it a little bit. I just want your opinion before I put mine out there. 13.5. 17.5 would be a couple tenths slower at your track, Jason says. Josh says, it's nice guys can take their 13.5 and transfer to the late model when moving up. Agreed, too. So here's my point to it. The 13.5 just stock, if you put a 17.5 in it, if you put a 17.5 in it, hang on, let me see what Sam says here. I made that comment, and that is not what I said. I said, when I see guys getting into the hobby and they start into the buggy, it starts the buggy street stock and the Traxxas Losi. They start in the buggy street stock, then they pick up the late model to run additional while they're also running street stock. Where I see a lot of guys come into the Traxxas class and Losi, you see them at the track 3 or 4 times and you never see them again. Okay. I'm not putting words in your mouth, Sam. I'm giving my opinion of it. My opinion of it is this. I think the 13.5 is right for the buggy street stock. I don't think a 17.5 is there. Here's why. It's going to be too slow. And guys are going to get tired of it quick. That's why. And let me reread this real quick. When I see guys getting into the hobby, they start in buggy street stocks as opposed to a Traxxas or a Losi. You see guys loving the hobby more when they start in a buggy street stock than they pick up the 13.5 late model to run additionally when they also run their street stock. Yeah, here's the problem with it. The Losi, the buggy street stock is, in my opinion, is an okay entry if you've done it before. But if you haven't, I don't know. I don't like I don't like a Traxxas. I don't like the mod, and I don't like the late model for Traxxas. I like you to build a / street stock. We've not mentioned the Traxxas ready to run tonight at all. I think the Losi cars, everybody knows my opinion of Losi Sprints. I think the Losi Sprints are a good car to get started in, but I hate them. They're heavy, but they're big right now. We're going to keep a class for them if they keep coming out. If they don't, we're going to kill the class because there ain't enough of them. I don't think that RTR is the right thing to do. So I think the comment was made, the guys move up faster. So I don't know. I mean, that's your opinion to it, Sam. My opinion is this. Weasel says 13.5 is just fine. It should go back to 13.5 roar blinky like it used to be. Another touchy situation, right, Weasel? In my opinion, I think the 13.5 just stock in buggy is good. I would like to see the late model go to 13.5 blinky roar. That's what I would like to see. I want to step up in that motor. That's why we did 10.5s. Nobody else jumped. But I would like to see that roar go next year or the year after. Ryan says, I think Van Nuys and Weasel and have some of the others, their opinion should matter more than mine, more knowledge than most people. Yeah, I mean, exactly, and that's why we're talking about it. The more, you know what I mean? I want everybody's opinion on it. Hate to compare the big cars, but an SS should not be as fast as a late model. Yes, Tommy, I understand that too. But they're all real close. Hell, crate late model is damn near as fast as a mod. Kevin Smith says 17.5 buggy-based late model years ago with non-adjustable arms. They were slow and just another class that came and went. Yeah, I think it's because of speed. Everybody wants speed. Rick Taylor says, I see a lot of Losi Sprints for sale after a few races. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there. Munsterman, I didn't see that, Brian. I didn't see your comment about, like, you like the look of it. Oh, I don't mind the look of it. I just think the Traxxas late model needs to, which is fine. I think guys are going to be running them at Brad's. I think you're going to go buy a Traxxas late model and guys are going to be out there running them. You know what I mean? And, I mean, I'm not real passionate about any of this stuff. Like, I'm kind of a fly-by-night type of cat for the RC hobby, as most of you guys know. I don't really go to many tracks. I don't really hang out, you know, and talk RC a lot. I kind of just worry about my track when I got another track trying to impose on my property or my things. I don't really do a lot for the hobby. But I started in a Traxxas. First car I bought was a Traxxas. Interesting. Oh God. Ryan says he likes the look of trannies more than Traxxas. He spelled Kevin Smith wrong. Kevin says, that's a double-edged sword. Some are for sale because they did their job. New to the class. Person got up to the speed and stepped up. I can attest to a few that were like that. Yeah. I really think so. I think the Losi car needs to stay. I think the Losi car needs to stay box stock. Or as close as they're running them right now at most tracks. I think the 13.5, I think the 13.5 Sprint is the step right, but again, you got to spend some time in the Sprint, in my opinion, to get going. Sam says, it's been said before, and I agree. The deeper I go, I think the Losi is more of a cool car to put on the shelf and sit and show people that happens to be racing that than a car to buy to go race and advance with. Yeah, it's a box stock car in my opinion. That's a car to get started in if you like a sprint car and you want to drive it up the wall the first 10 times you're at the track. And then if you want to stay in sprint, it gives you an opportunity, right? Drake says, I think the part part of the reason the RTR, Losi, and Traxxas guys that you see 3 or 4 times, then never again, don't realize what all goes into RC racing. And they get intimidated by seeing seasoned racers with loads of equipment and time and money spent. Agreed, Drake. How do we help that? How do we help that problem? You see a guy come out with a brand new Losi or a brand new Traxxas, we need to go talk to him about it and let him know, hey, you can start this deal slow and just get good with that and not have to do a bunch of shit, right? That works. I don't know. There has to be a way to make that better for them. Munchman says, don't be jealous. I still have love for you. I assume that's up to Ryan. Maybe not. Maybe it's up to Kevin. Van Ice says, I've ran buggy street stock from 21.5 to open. Different size tracks. Open is too uncontrollable to me, and the other motors I feel are great. I've ran 21.5 in Iowa before, and that class was fast. Jason, I watched the Chili Bowl for the first time ever this year. And the reason I watched it is because I like watching a little bit more. I like to understand how people are doing it. The problem I found is the buggy street stock was probably the worst class for getting going during the whole Chili Bowl because they're way overpowered. I think guys were putting a big motor in and had no business putting a big motor in them. And it was horrible. I mean, restart because they couldn't get them going. And then it was partially a mess when they were running them. So, man, I think that car, no matter where you're running, needs a limit on it. And go from there. Because the 13.5, I like that motor in that car. Sam says, yes, I know several Losis out there that have the same level of money in them as I do in my mod stuff. Yeah. And they're half the car. Honestly, they're half the car. By the time, in my opinion, the quality of them, you're running a mod car, the quality of the Losi is not where the mod is. Brian said, I felt the same way about, sorry, it kicked me. I felt the same way about Associated Abomination of the street stock. So that street stock car, and I was talking to somebody about it, I don't even know who it was. But the thought behind that street stock car, guys, was an entry level. It was not ever meant to run with the big car street stocks. I think they really wanted to start its own class of the SR, wasn't it SR10? I think they wanted to do that. I bought one of them and gave it to the neighbor. Literally just gave it to him because it drove like shit. But I didn't know anything. I was dumb. That was just my first car to buy after I bought my Slash. That was the first buggy-based car I bought. I haven't bought one since because I had such bad time with that one. Come on, Bubba. So when I had that one, I hated it. So, but I was talking to somebody and they go, the point of that car was missed. It was meant to be its kind of its own class as a beginner class to get guys into it with the Associated. True or not, however it looks, whatever. Jason says, Drake, you mean we intimidate a new racer with our $3,000 worth of Milwaukee pack-out boxes and $1,500 sprint cars? Drake's like, exactly. And yeah, you're right, Bubba. That is the point. You know what I mean? Like, just go, we just need to talk to him, I think. James, what's up? I think it's your first time commenting. What track are you from? What's your home track? Thanks for jumping on here. I haven't seen you on here before. Throw it in the comments where you're from, what track you run all the time. He said, missed earlier, Losi RTR box stock, maybe radio change 13.5 and mod sprint. Keep RTR cars as RTR. Keeps the Outlaws the low. Modifying a Losi into something else is counterproductive. Yeah, there's so much better cars out there. Agreed. Early day tomorrow. I'm out, guys. All right, Andrew. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. I know a couple of them had 6.5s in them. Yeah, right. That's because they always run on a fresh rebuild and it's loose as fuck. only a Drake special setup works on them loose tracks. Yeah. My pack out made my slash faster. Drake says, I won buggy street stock at the Chili Bowl with a 7.5, but it turned way down. Tony's not wrong. Yeah, that's just me sitting at home watching it, Drake. I don't know. I've watched a lot of racing, obviously, from where I sit at the track, and man, it was just too much. Guys had no business running them motors. It couldn't hardly make a lap on its own. There was one race in the Chili Bowl that had 5 restarts, kind of crappy for a big time race. Hey man, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to get it. You know what I mean? That was a novice mod sprint. Amen, God. We don't even want to talk about that. John Henderson, what's up, John? Don't forget the guys rolling in with trailers as well. Yeah, well, Van Ice is going to have a 30-footer next year, a 32-foot trailer, bringing it in here. James says, we ran buggy street stock, and it's a great conversion from off-road. Opportunity for maybe a one-piece late model body instead. Keep it simple. I want to explore the limits. Go to a different class. We're building Snake River RC in Idaho. Opening in the spring. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Idaho. Hell yeah. That's cool, man. Get a Facebook post. If you get a Facebook page up, send it to my way. If you do already, send it to me in the messenger, and I'll check you out. I'll keep watching. Trailers and pack. I'll tell Jason has so many cars he had shelves falling off the walls. Yeah, that ain't no shit. What's up, Dan? Hell yeah, thanks for yeah, there you go. I'll follow. Thanks, man. It's a 28. Sorry. Yeah, Van Ice can bring a stacker. Yeah, no shit. Well, he said that this year. He said he's looking at a 27-footer or a 28-footer. And I'm like, hell, okay. Well, you better enjoy the parking in the alley, because there ain't no room for no 28-footer here. The good thing is we're going to run the radio this year, so you guys will be able to get it on the radio station. All right, let's get back up here. We ain't even got the topic of the week yet, guys. God, I don't even want to talk about it, but we're going to. Here it is. Topic of the week. I don't even want to do this. But it came up in question. There it is. My big head ass, talking tech. You ever wonder why you do something to yourself? This is one of them. Come on, Kevin. Josh says, I love using my trailer because most of the time I work out of it all week and everything RC I have is in there. If I have room for trailers, guys, I have room for trailers. But I don't. Sometimes I don't. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a huge race, usually Jason comes down and sleeps in his and stays. So I put him in the alley. He supports us all year long. He's at every one of our big races. So that's why. We allow Jason that, but most of the time I don't. We usually do tents. But if I have a guy, like I know you have parts trailer, Josh, if you have a parts trailer and that's something that we need to work with, we'll talk about it. If you want to come over for a big race, let me know. Kevin Smith says, I'm out. Tech, I'm out. Come on. Jason said, I just found a double stacked, also apartment on top deck, pit room, lower level. There you go. Sam Johnson says, the car itself is the most expensive line on the budget. Once you get a good transmitter and charger, etc., can we not work backwards from a 13.5 late model? Could we take an assault rocket type chassis and put a street stock body on it? Then when a guy wants to move up, it's a late model body and a 13.5 away from moving up. Yeah, that's been talked about. I think, Sam. The problem is this. We talk about it every week whenever a subject comes up, man. I want diversity. I don't want two manufacturers. That I understand Dustin's point today about they give back so much to the hobby, unlike Losi, unlike Traxxas, I agree with that 100%. But the thing is I just bought a buggy street stock for $300 this weekend. So what are you going to do? Where am I going to buy a purpose-built car for $300 used? Body, roller. That's the problem. Now, if you buy new, obviously you're pretty close, I think, but I don't know. And I think another thing with it is I think when you get into purpose-built, I think there's more adjustments that guys get over their head on. We were talking about that too. Guys move up so fast, they're way behind a car. You know what I mean? So if a guy moves up too fast in some classes, you're behind the car. And it ends up being a crash fest because you're behind the car. Meaning, you see something happen, by the time you react, it's already over and you're in a wreck. We talk about a lot in drag racing. A guy gets in a pro mod and he sees something happen at the 60 foot and it's the car's already at the 330 before he makes the adjustment. Because they're running 3.55 seconds this weekend. That's the difference. And I think guys do the same thing in this hobby where they get too far behind the car because they want to move up so fast. Do I think there's a place for that car in what I know Munsterman's going to be talking about here in just a minute? Because I've seen the comment. I think there's a place if we want to have another option, but that's going to happen when all the short course stuff goes away. Drake says, I don't want to do this. Sounds like all the tech guys are at every track. At every track ever. Real and RCs. Yeah. I know, dude. Nobody wants to talk it, but we're going to talk it. There's some questions that came up this week on the poll to ask questions, so that's what we're going for. Nothing big. Ryan says, I'll challenge tech questions. Oh, well, I learned a lot from the Wits tent. I bet you did. Tech, what's tech, Rick says. That's another problem, but anyway. C. Thedens, Sam is on board with the open chassis street stock, LOL. Brian says, I'll pay the $100 to tech a guy just to see the tires he's working 3 days to cut. And yeah. Get the wheels cut off, yeah. Drake says, can we do 4x4 street stocks? We're doing 4x4 late models, short course, not buggy, short course. Tony runs a 4x4 late model. Yeah, we do that. We do that on any short course 4-wheel drive. It just changed the rules this year. So open motor, open ESC, tire package, obviously. I'm out for the night. Thanks as always for doing this, Tony. Have a good one. Yeah, be careful, Sam. Dustin Rowe. There was a couple. Who else is on here new? I missed you, I think. Hang on. Let me scroll back up here. Somebody was new. Did you pull your comment? James. I thought there was another one that was new up here. Hang on. I got shit to do here, boys. You'll wait. Sam's out with tech. He ain't having none of that. Dustin Rowe. Dustin, this is your first time too, right? If it is, I haven't seen you in the comments before. Throw out what track you're at. In my opinion, the Losi Sprints and Traxxas Modifieds actually hurt the stock classes. Too much diversity causes everything to be split up. We should just stuck with the old Traxxas Slash classes and no need for another sprint class. I don't disagree with you, Dustin. We took the Traxxas classes and got rid of them. So we, first time catching you live, not first time watching. Yeah, what's your home track, buddy? Hell yeah. We got rid of all our Traxxas. We had a TRX modified last year. We jumped on that bandwagon when it came out. It is gone. The only thing you can run them in is to turn them into a B mod or run them in the novice class. Late models the same. They will be novice or that's it. Or you can try to run them, I guess, with the 4-wheel drive slashes. That'd be interesting. Or 4-wheel drive late models. The Losi car, we leave a box stock, but I agree. We just don't need much. Was backyard, now 5-star. I'm located in oh, okay. Yeah. Hell yeah. Come over for a race, man. Come on over. You're close. And enjoy 5-star. I think that thing's going to be good. He's got a little bit of a... He's working with the dirt, but he'll be okay. Shane will get that figured out. You guys, just quick before we get into these couple questions. Oh, Bo Dunn, you're new too. Where you at? Where's your home track? Shane's having a little trouble with the track. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm telling you, it's green. It takes time to get that shit right. Those of you that were there, thank you for supporting him. He's busted his ass to get that done. The other side of it is, guys, don't give up on the guy. It takes time. He is pushing a number and an envelope to get shit done. Make sure that you get him give him the love he deserves, because it takes time to get that shit together, okay? For sure. All right, let's get into these questions real quick. Let me pull them up. I put out the question of the week, question stuff, got all that together. And a couple questions come out about tech. Let me get it. Well, one of the questions was, should deodorant be mandatory? And in my opinion, it should be, but I'm sure at the old Chili Bowl, she was optional. Weasel had one. If a majority of drivers in a class ask for a certain vehicle to be teched, should the track operator be obligated to tech the car, or do they just strong arm the guy in the pits? Kind of like how that was put, but Jake's. Okay, Bo, hell yeah. We'll see you this summer, buddy. Rome wasn't built in a day, and he's making strides and busting his ass. Agreed, Kevin. Okay. Ryan says you got a question for next week. Well, yeah, I'll remind you. Want to head out to 5-star and check it out. Updates on 5-star track. Looks like it's coming together. Yeah, he raced this weekend, Brian, and like I said, I talked to him this morning trying to help him some. We'll see what happens. Kevin's got you hooked up there, Thedens. Don't worry about it. So, going to head off to bed, but want to give a shout out to Rogue on communication during my tire wash order. Hey, hell yeah. Guys, Rogue Race Concepts, our guy, Traxxas Joe, most of you know him by that name. Dude, he stands behind his shit. So make sure that Ryan Ratzliff just bought one, and he had some issues with shipping, and Joe took care of him. So make sure you guys look up Rogue. We got some stuff going with Joe, so you guys will see more and more of him on this page. Let me see here. Let me get this off of here. Sorry guys, I'm out to lunch this week. Pushing that back over. All right. Let's see here. God. There should be a process to request tech, and if it's destructive, the person requests pays for it. Yeah, if you're not illegal. We had call-outs here, guys. So we had call-outs here. If you called a guy out and there was a reasonable reason for it, we would tech him. Okay? We didn't have many people calling out, honestly. It was very slim number of guys that were calling people out. So we did that. It worked. I mean, it's really, the difference, I think, is what track you're at. Like I said earlier, the ultra competitive tracks, you better be. More laid back track, you can probably get away with not as much tech. But I think you should be there. I mean, we did battery tech, and it was rough. People were bitching. But, hey, it is what it is. Many of you have heard me say it before. If you drive to my track, if you don't like it here, let me know. I'll give you your money back, and you can get in the opposite lane, and it takes your ass back to the house. Okay? That's just kind of my rule of thumb. I say it at every driver's meeting. You know what I mean? So bitching about tech doesn't help any. Right? If you know the tech when you get there, you're there. You know what I mean? Like, you came there, you knew we were teching. Battery voltage will be checked. We're using our meter, and that's it. If you don't like it, see ya. I mean, especially battery voltage, something simple like that. You know what I mean? Check tires. We're going to have check tires, so we're not open this year. And that kind of thing. So, but I don't know. I think if there's a request, I think it really should be, it's every track's opinion, but I think it should be really looked at to see if somebody does need to be teched at that point. Yes. That's my opinion of it. Dustin said, practice yesterday. We got a sneak peek of what it can be. It was fun before it fell apart. On the bright side, the last lap, I suggested landing a front flip for the win because I hit a hole. Hey, man. Congratulations for that, Dustin. The other side of it is, man, I like a track with character. Like, and I understand a hole is not the right character you want, but that hole's there for everybody. So, agreed, man. I think hang in there. that shit's that's gonna rock. It'll be great. Brian says, Brian, good talking to see you soon. Brian out? He's got to get up in the morning or something? Where's he going? Oh, God, Kevin says, I had a rule with the last race at Backyard. You can request, take, and it will stay anonymous, but know that your shit will get random teched as well. So make sure your shit is legit also. Agreed. Yes, God. PTSD from Winston. Yeah, God. Yeah, that's, guys, rules are hard. But, I mean, if you think a guy's cheating, I mean, here, come to me. That's how I'm going to say it for my track. Here, if you think a guy is truly cheating and you want him teched, I'm not saying I'm going to do it as soon as you say it, but I'm just saying if you want a guy teched, you can get called out. But I agree with Kevin. If I'm teching him because you're bitching, guess what? You better be on point too. Munsterman's phone died. Are you fuck? Did you lose power up there or what? Plug your shit in, Munsterman. Ugh. Rookie. We only dropped 206 frames, just so you know, tonight too, guys. I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, so there's that, guys. So I think that this may end up being blanket. Oh, all right. We'll see what happens. Might be one for the not only just a question of the week. We might do it for a whole topic. Is that what you're saying? Might be the topic of the week instead of just a question. The other question was from Joshua. He says, should we do pre-tech for the big money or trophy races? As soon as each driver pays their fees, they go to the tech table before seating. Brinkman does do, Dave Brinkman from RC Underground Radio, his Foam Over Nationals, they do a really good job with that. So, agreed. I think that will be a, I think they do a great job. I think everybody should probably, you guys, I think everybody should do some tech. I don't know the format or how that works or how that looks exactly. I don't know if you run, as soon as you do, Dave does it where as soon as you go to the track, you're marshaling before your race. So if you're in race 1, the guys for race 2 are marshaling race 1. Your stuff's in tech while you're marshaling. So that's how he works it. It works good for him. With about, I don't know what he had, 80 cars maybe. So I think that's something that we could work with. We will do some tech this year more than normal, but I'm not trying to be the ultra competitive, the ultra crackdown track, but it's more about having a good time. But be legal, because if I catch you, we're going to be on here talking about you on a Sunday night. Promise you. Okay? Justin's, what's up, Atkinson? He says, tech went way better this year at the Chili Bowl for me. Brought somewhat of a legal Midwest mod body. Well, that usually helps when your shit's legal to pass tech a little easier. Eden says his anal bead shorted out the circuit. Nice. It's an old phone with the batteries are tired. Bullshit. Munsterman, come on. Brian says, now I know why you gave them to me. We should have cheated on the dry tire rule. Ooh, I'll commit to being a tech guy at all your big events this season. Okay. Hell yeah, Jeff. Come on. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's cool. We're going to put you a little different spot, but we'll give you a spot to sit, and we're going to try to work that a little bit better. Thank you for that. If that's what you want to do. We're more than happy to have you, for sure. Jeff did donate time one time this year, come out and one of our big races and tech, and did a great job. So that'd be cool. Kevin says tech was different this year because they started actually looking at the rules that should have been teched for the last few years. Tech this year is probably a sign of things to come. Uh-oh. They ran them, didn't they? We got you, Jeff. Give me a tech table and feed me nachos, and I'm all good. We got you. That's not a problem, buddy. We'll take care of you. They did random, right? In between? Is that how they did it, or what did they do? Text something different every day or something? But that's those guys. It's kind of just a general question. Random on things, check yes. Okay, yeah. I think you have to be that way. You know what I mean? Like if everybody knows somebody's teching this, they're gonna make sure that's right and hide the thing that makes a difference. You know what I mean? Again, we talked about it last week because we did our Chili Bowl kind of review last week, but you can't say anything bad about the Chili Bowl as far as a big spectacle. That's a lot of work, and kudos to those guys to get that shit done. And I know you're there forever, but man, it is what it is. Give me a tech, unfortunately, is a necessary evil and should be done randomly time to time. I think that's probably your best way of doing it instead of doing it, hey, we are going to tech now. I think you could probably pre-tech some stuff, like Josh said, but the reality of it is day of, you need to say Nacho gets up there and he's doing tech for us this year. We are going to check battery voltage on big races for sure. 844 will be the number, no matter what. I know guys bitch because mine's high voltage and mine's not. It's going to be 844, guys. If that runs you off, I'm sorry. But we have to stick a number that we feel is safe and right. And then that's how we're going to run it. And here's the reason why. Because some guy that's running a car that might not be as knowledgeable as others is going to pump a battery full or beyond if you don't put a number on it. And then you have a problem. So let's not have them problems, and let's just keep it a relatively low number like that. Chili Bowl is 840, I think. So, which is what most hotel races are, I think, is why Scotty goes with that. So, random, but we knew 30 minutes to an hour in advance. Well, damn, that's a lot. Don't tell our singers. Not really a secret. The second set of heats. I mean, yeah. But see, I don't even know that it would be that. The real way to do that is the tech guys know there's different stuff to check, and every car should be different, right? I wouldn't have even said what it is, and say Ryan's up there and Kevin's up there. That one, Ryan's in front as usual, and Kevin's picking up the rear. And next thing you know, Ryan gets one thing checked, and Kevin gets a different thing checked. Completely random. Instead of telling you, oh, we're going to check, ride height this time. Oh, we're going to check. The guys know how to check it all. So let them randomly check whatever they want to. I mean, that's how I would do it. You trust your tech guys enough to tech them. Just let them do it. And tell them, I don't want two guys in a row the same. You know what I mean? That's how I would have done it, but I don't know. I mean, maybe that's too much. I will say with Mod Sprint, if they were checking bodies, they did randomly what part they were checking. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. I'm not bitching because we were learning as a group, but they yelled and yelled about dry tire only, and A and B main tire dope was running off the tech table. Yeah. I could see that. Yep. I mean, I understand it. I mean, I don't understand it, I guess. I think everybody gets into who's who. I think everybody runs into that. There was no cash involved. Oh, I didn't see. Munchman says, well, when you're in a tent that the sponsor is paying off the tech guy for the group, I'd hope you knew when it were happening. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I mean, I don't know. I think it's got to be more random. But That's me. That was on us for not being smart. Nothing against them. Yeah, yeah. Mushroom says you guys are probably just now coming down from the high from the tire dope. Agreed, man. That stuff I couldn't even imagine. I talked to Cuz this week, and he said the same thing. He said he's all messed up, and I'm like, yeah, it's tire dope. You know what I mean? Sitting in that, trying to get over that tire dope deal for 2 weeks after. That's crazy. But yeah, it's good, man. I think tech needs to happen. I think it needs to be as random as you can. The smell out of my bag. You won't. Pasley, you're done, buddy. You might as well get a new one. Maybe that's a good reason to buy a new one. But I don't think it was bad. I've smelled worse in a lot of places. Well, they say PT's was bad before they got rid of the dope deal, which I think is good. Again, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So, I know how you think. I wound up with a short. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, exactly. Monster nuts. In all honesty, I got the body dinged a couple times and the tire dinged once, so payoff doesn't work. LOL. What they ding you on a tire for, Kevin? If you want to elaborate. We don't even want to get too deep into tires tonight, but I don't know, guys. I think it's pretty. I think tech has to happen. I think it has to be as random as we can, and then go from there. Lube's the bitch. Dan says, if you have 15 points that can be checked on the car and every vehicle, put them all in a paper sack and draw out 4 random checks out for the evening. This is that kind of how it's done. Dan, it's kind of, those of you that have been on here a lot, you know Dan. Dan used to live here, and he jumps on and really gives us an outside point of view, which I love. Dan, so what it is there's the rules. Honestly, it should all be teched, but you could grab anything you wanted and tech it at any time. In all honesty, you should not. Your whole car should be legal every time you go up there, right? So that would work to have 4 randoms, but the reality of it is just leave it open where all the guys, they have to have the whole car correct, you know. To prove the Central Illinois point, we are spoiled that you can't dope in the building. We are spoiled. Yeah. No mechanical balding. My midget tire had too much wear to be used. Oh, yeah. I love the fact that you can't dope, you know. The ones you ran in the mains were softer than 109-year-old granny titties. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. But they were legal. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, it is what it is, right? I think the thing that you guys, just like what they're talking about right here, guys, I think that's the Chili Bowl in a nutshell. They're not talking about the race they had. They're not talking about a move that they made on the race. They're talking about what they did in the pits. I feel like that is the biggest part of our community that people really overlook. The Shriner race this year for us was great. The Fall Brawl was great. The atmosphere is just killer. You know, I've never been to Traxxas. Dustin said Traxxas, if they could bottle Traxxas atmosphere and sell it, they'd make millions. And I agree. I think that's probably right. I think it's, but I think there's more of that good atmosphere out there than people understand. Trying to forget the race, but everything else made up for it. Hell yeah, Justin. Yep. Well, that happens too, right? If you have a bad night of racing, but you can hang out with your buddies all night, or all for 6 days, y'all ain't killed each other yet, it had to be a good week. Yeah, we were just talking crap. We figured out where we failed, and now be more prepared. Everyone that can swing it should go there once and enjoy it. Yeah. As soon as Trace out a ball, it'll be 2 years. Trace out a basketball, we'll be there. I don't know if I'll be there a whole week, but I'll be there. It's about hanging out for me. You know what I mean? You guys see me at PTs. I'm not racing. Although I do have cars. I did buy one, so I can now, but I'm not. I don't, I will say if you put it in the width tent and didn't have enough help and didn't have a good time, your voice will be cut for access next year. Oh, yeah. Yep. Dude, I just seen, and I knew who was some of the people that were in there and seen the pictures and videos. Yeah. It would have been a good time. That's what the Chili Bowl is about, in my opinion. That's what all of it's about. Every weekend. Just having a great time. Killing that divide of mod guys against non-mod guys, and the local scene needs to work more, flow better. And a Chili Bowl, in my opinion, is showing what you got and having a great time. So, and it's important. If you hated this shit every weekend, would you come out and do it? We got one more question here. Weasel put in another question, said, if a track is giving out free food, should the smallest guy be allowed to eat first and the biggest guy to eat last? I mean, it's a valid point. I don't know when I'm eating in that deal, but I've said this a few times, but it was weird feeling like that under the tent, food everywhere, and it was special. Yeah, I bet it was, Ryan. Hell yeah. That's a good feeling, though. That's a good company. That's a good thing. And Ryan says, I'd eat you if you were blocking the cheesecake. The video of the Wisconsin guys knocking down the beer can pyramid was great. Sure, women and children should eat first. Well, I promise you, when the old lady's fixing a meal for y'all, she's eating first. So yeah, it's it's great, man. I tell you what, it's I'm missing it. We're not ready for the track side. It's been too damn cold to get any work done, but we are fired to go. We're ready to get things going. I'm ready for outdoor season already, and it's only the 25th of January. What cheesecake? Oh, Weasel, you need to come to PT's one weekend when we're all down there, Weasel. You'll find out. Ryan knows about it. He left before she got there last night. So Mama come down late last night. Me and Trace came down and watched, and then hung out with Jeremy and Joe and James and everybody. And then we left and went to She Come Back. PT's Cheesecake. Yeah, surprised she hasn't been on here tonight. But yeah, that's what's up. So on my list of handouts next time I see you. Yeah, Ryan's delivery guy most weeks. I'll take it all and split it with you in the pits. Beans, we need ice cream. I assume that's Chili Bowl. James says, it was 23 when we rolled into work on the new track Saturday. Not that cold, but frozen dirt is hard to get. Yeah, as hard as it gets. Yeah, I didn't work on anything today, but it's sub-zero here, so the last couple days. So I do need to apologize to Jeremy. I didn't make it up to see him last night. Hopefully he didn't get offended. Oh, he wasn't offended. Jeremy's cool. So, James, is your track going to be indoors or outdoors in Idaho? Indoor track or outdoor track? High bite, loose dirt? What do you got? While you're still on here. Hell, it's only like, what, 8 o'clock at your place? 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock? What are you in? Mountain? So, now Jeremy went down this weekend. First time ever racing there. Outdoors, hell yeah. Outdoors where it's at. Jeremy went down for the first time PT's ever being there, and he enjoyed it a lot. He'll go back. So you guys will see Jeremy back down there. He had a little trouble in the street stock. So, oh fuck. That's great. Okay, so a guy named Cuz had an epic blow up in public at the Chili Bowl about ice cream. We will let him tell the story at some point. Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go. I'll have to tag him next week. I'll message him and say, hey, we need the ice cream story next week. Likely loose dirt, hoping you get to a web tire. I'll see where it ends up. New dirt, so we'll have to learn. Yeah. Yeah, it's a learning process, buddy. Yeah. Make it happen. That's badass. I love seeing new tracks. Was he mad he didn't have a trophy to have? Wow. Yeah, James, that's cool. I'll definitely jump on your page and check it out. But yeah, that's if I can help anyway, or there's some dirt guys on here right now. So If you have questions or anything, always feel free to throw a comment out. And if any of us halfway across the country can help you in any way with dirt or thinking about it or how to do it or an idea, we're willing to help. Okay, so that's what this community is all about, is being able to talk about it and get that information to people. Flat track, are you doing banked? Let's get some dimensions. Give me an idea. Run line, banked, flat, radius to the corners, anything like that? Got any of that? But that son of a bitch got the win of the week. He found the only McDonald's in the U.S. that are working with a working ice cream machine. Oh, fuck. Now I got to know about this deal. Okay, no problem. Hell yeah, send it up here. And we, like I said, we'll help any way we can. That's what this is about. I just mentioned 5-star. I talked to Shane this morning a little bit about his, and just to give him ideas. I don't know if it'll work, but we throw ideas out there. So definitely something. We'll do a podcast. We'll do one of these here in the next week or two last week, but we'll try to get another week or two going, and we'll put out some dirt work. So let's get this snow away, under control, where people can, the guys at, one of our snow fighter is one of our dirt guys, so he needs to be able to think about it more than worrying about snow. So we'll talk about dirt. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of enjoyable to understand it, you know what I mean, a little bit more. So, man, I wish I would have known that this weekend. I just talked to Cuz on Saturday. I wish I would have known that. I would have asked him. I bought a car off of him. I asked him if I could get the payment plan. Inner dimensions 70 by 30, outer 100 by 60. That's light banking, 190-inch run line, 15-foot radius in the corners, and the inside is somewhat sweeping corners. That's a pretty good sized track. He's been out blowing. He's seen snow. But yeah. So, oh yeah, that's gonna be a decent size. Mine's 40 by 80, but I'm pretty small. That's gonna be about cedar, ain't it, Ryan? That should be around cedar size. Mine's 140-ish on the run line, 145. So that's gonna be a good size. Put a gear in that baby. So yeah, little banking's good too. Yeah, that's what I thought, Kevin. Yep, that's what I was thinking too. Close to cedar. Take on tech. Short answer. Tech checks are never perfect. Exactly. But the track that keeps racers happy all follow the same philosophy rather than trying to catch everything. The goal of tech is small scale RC racing isn't to prove anybody is cheating. It's to make sure no one has an obvious advantage and everyone feels the racing is fair. Yep, agreed, 100%. Yeah, of course you did. Look up there about 8 comments, Ryan, and James put his dimensions of the track. We're thinking it's about cedar. Brian's thinking limestone outdoor. Cedar is about 210 run line. So yeah, pretty close, a little shorter. Burning. Oh fuck. But yeah, so that's part of it too. You know, I mean, it's Dan, that ChatGPT's not dumb. They're pretty much right on the money with that, right? As long as everybody thinks it's fair, it's good. You know what I mean? You had a pee to find. What's up, Steiger? Hang out with him last night a little bit too. He said you had to pee to find it. I think limestone was 220. If we ever get to race there more than once, yeah, that's interesting. I just got done taking Matt and wiping my Hayden. Oh shit. Yeah. I don't know if you were peeing or not, Ryan, but or whatever you're doing. But I told him if he has any questions, just let us know. We'll help him if we can halfway across the country. Just did. But yeah. Yep, it's good, man. I'm always excited to hear of a track because I like to see them develop and come in, and just like Sam's building that one in Indiana, man. We need more tracks in Indiana. Dirt Oval's got to grow more, and the only way to get it to grow more is put more tracks up there. You know what I mean? The more people that have the opportunity to race dirt oval is the only way you're going to get more guys racing dirt oval, right? Yeah. Ryan says, yeah, in all seriousness, I'll help anyone with the track stuff, and don't be afraid to ask. Yeah. So, James, just so you know, Ryan does dirt work for a living. I just do it because I own a track. And just talking through stuff sometimes helps guys. And we, like I said, I talked to Shane this morning, gave him some ideas, and if it works, I don't know if it will or not, but you've got to try something. So, and remember, don't get frustrated the first month you got it going, because it is a green track. Yep. Let us know, man. Message us anytime. Yeah. Yeah. Now you want to be serious, Stevens? Really? So, but yeah, it's good. I don't know, man. I think if we could help as many tracks as a whole, how'd you find us anyway, James? How did you find this podcast? I mean, Idaho's a long way away. You just do it because you didn't want to have to pull weeds in the garden. That's part of it too, but that's going to be a question of the week next week. Tony, don't. No, yeah, oh God. Okay. So, whatever. You know I'll play. I don't care. But that's just trying to figure out how to grow tracks and give people more opportunity. Everybody asked how come dirt oval or dirt off-road so big is because you can go anywhere and race it, I think. And it's older, you know what I mean? It's been around longer, and they're made for that. They've always been made for that. I think that's a big part of it, but I think dirt oval's coming around. I think we're going to have a big influx of people coming to it. Oh, God. Why y'all behind the scenes? 3 years ago, there was there's no oval in Idaho. I got a carpet track to do oval, and we started it. They switched it to dirt, and I ran their dirt program until the track closed. Built a good program. Now there are 4 dirt ovals in Idaho, 2 of which are opening this year. Stumbled on yours versus Shane Wheeler's, I think. Oh, okay. Hell yeah. That's cool. I've been running dirt oval on and off-road since 96 or 86. Hell yeah. That's cool. Hell, I'm glad you're here. I just didn't know how you know what I mean? You're just a long way from home. I'm in Illinois and you're in Idaho, so that's a long distance to, but I'm happy you're here. We got a lot of we get some Oklahoma guys going too, so. But yeah, hell yeah, we're there. And like I said, I like input from all over. If you have something in Idaho that you run, like we were talking about the different classes, if you run something weird and or not weird or different than what we run, then man, just put it out there. There's no shame in this deal, I promise you. I'll be in Texas tomorrow. Well, dang. So yeah, there ain't no shame in it. Just you got something to say it, put it out there, and we'll rip from there. So yeah. Yeah, you ain't shitting. That's, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I just got a text. Yeah. Yep. That's going to be a hell of a question. Yeah. Yep. I'll do it. Yeah. And you know what? What's up, Mark? Aren't you a manufacturer, James? Idaho to Texas. Weather won't be much difference now. No shit. Stetler says, James, aren't you a manufacturer? Yeah, Ryan, I don't know, man. You know what, though? We've seen that happen twice, right? This is the second time it's happened in a year. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Very interesting to hear that conversation. More snow in Texas this year. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I don't know, man. Name sounds familiar, huh? Why are you... Musterman's confused. Well, I didn't put it up here today, guys. They're running that in, let me see if I can find it real quick. In Missouri, they're running a series this year, too, that Dirt Oval Mafia. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be down to go and, I might go watch a race or something down there, but the problem is there's so much close to home. But let me see if I can find it real quick. Dirt Over Mafia, they run like 5 or 6 races in a series. So that's what, you know what I mean? Yeah, no shit, Ryan. Built one against all odds in 3 days, and it wasn't the best ever, but I did win, yeah, 100%. But yeah, they're running a dirt oval series. I'm trying to get with the other tracks to make sure it's okay to put it out there before I do it. But they're putting we'll try to promote them a little bit too. down in Missouri with Lead Belt and Triple H, All Star, County Line, one other. So just something else for guys to look at. James says, no, I'm just a promoter in our local scene. I know a lot of people and I'm pretty vocal. Fucking right. That's what we like to hear. I'm not very vocal, but a lot of people think I am. There it is. Catch multiple times. Yep, Dirt Oval Mafia just sent me it back. So he just mentioned me. I don't know if he's on here now. If you are, jump on here. I don't know who is the leader of that deal, but Lead Belt's going to change the Missouri game 100%. But I don't know who runs that deal. But if you're on here, pipe up. But yeah, we'll start pushing it. I actually have a series set up where I'm going to put all the race series in it, just so guys can see them. Just so guys will know what's going on. You know what I mean? And do it. Try to get as many people out there as we can seeing this stuff. There it is, just so you guys have it. I don't know who's going to, you know what I mean, if anybody's going to travel. I'd like to go down and check out a couple of them. But there's the classes: Open Sprint, Open Late Model, Midwest Mod, Midget, Street Stock, B Mod, 13.5 Sprint, 13.5 Late Model, and Novice. March, June, July, August, September, October. If you guys look at that, one really cool thing that they did, August 1st, guess what they put in? A fucking rain date. Holy shit! Look at that! We have a rain date. It doesn't help for the Leadfoot, or the Lead Belt and the October race, but it's definitely a good thing that they put a friggin' rain date right in the middle. So they're going to be running RC Barn. They're going to be running County Line, All Star, Lead Belt, and Triple H Speedway. So you know it'll be pretty good. McAllister's involved in it, so that'll help. So if you guys want to get down there, I'll be showing that in the series that we're going to do, putting up the series stuff. So if you guys want that, all right. Something different, something to look at, something that some guys, you know what I mean? I don't disagree that Lead Belt's going to make a change in the Missouri game. I think it's going to be really good for them down there. Something different. So, yeah. So there it is. Yeah. But anyway, what else anybody else got? Anybody got anything else for me tonight? We're going to get things together here, guys. Continue watching for the videos. That stuff will keep going. How to navigate the schedule. I sent you for the... Yes, I did figure that out, and thank you for that. And I commented to thank Molly for that. But yes, that's badass. And yes, I did figure it out. But I didn't know before. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But until you told me, so interesting. But yeah, good. Ain't no more snow, Kevin. Get the hell out of here. I'm over snow. This shit can go away, and let's start racing outdoors quick. Not too quick. I ain't ready, but let's get it going the right direction. So, all right, guys. I'm gonna jump off here. Been on here 2.5. I'm gonna jump off here. Roll. Yeah, she does do a good job with that, and that's a good thing to have. I will. I have it saved, so I'll go back to it to make sure that I have all those together. So we will continue the same thing we do, right? And we'll be able to post all them dates for everybody weekly, because we will continue to do this all through the summer and make things happen. So if I'm off a weekend or something, we'll whatever, but for the most part, we'll do it every week. So, all right, guys, we didn't have to get into the deep end when we started. It will not be this year. It will not be this year. Maybe next winter. It just ain't gonna happen. I've got 6 or 8 things I got to get done before the year, and they're all outdoors. So there's no way I'm getting anything built. And man, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's the best thing or not. I want it for myself, so it's going to happen. But I don't know for the RC community if that's the best thing, except for we're going to open it up where, you know, Brad's does really good with everybody pitting in there, but big races, of course, you're not going to get that. But here you'll have to, because you ain't going to have no room to do it anywhere else. So, but yeah, we'll be good. All right, guys, I'm out. We'll see you guys next week. Same deal, same time, same everything. We're going to get it together. I'll try not to suck as bad as I do every other week, and we're out. See ya. Thanks for listening to In My Opinion. Don't forget to join us live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central on Kempton Speedway Facebook page. Catch our highlight show dropping Wednesdays on RCU Radio's YouTube, Spotify, and all major platforms. Please like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time.